Welcome to the Mindset RX podcast, a show for functional athletes who want to gain a champ's mindset. My name is Tom Foxley and I'm the founder and head coach of Mindset RX. Today's show is about, I think, every CrossFitter's favourite subject. It's how hard can you push, your mental toughness, your grit, your resilience, your capacity to embrace hardship. That's what mental toughness is. And it's something we idolize. It's something we watch with fervor as we kind of watch these athletes at the games truly eke out like this suffering and this true grit that we see, and we think that's what I've got to do more of. We compare ourselves initially to we think we should be like them. We should be able to embrace the hardship like them, embrace the suck with their stoic faces and their resilience and their toughness. We think, yes, that's what I want. That's who I want to be. And good. If you want to be like that, good, because so do I. It's something that I'm working towards. It's something that I grow towards. All too often, though, we go about things the wrong way. Firstly, note what I said there. We compare ourselves to that. We think if we're not there yet, we are not tough enough. If we do not push that level, we are not a good enough athlete. We do not deserve to be there. And we lament ourselves, and we're pretty hard on ourselves, and we're tough on ourselves because we're not at that level yet. But it's just the same as snatching. Yeah, you can't snatch 140 kilos yet. So what? Like, can you snatch 1 kilo more than you could 3 months ago? Are you progressing in that way? It's exactly the same. Progress over perfection, like I spoke about in the last episode. So what we've got to do is we've got to realize that I'm going to compare myself to where I was yesterday. Not where I dream of being now, but where I was yesterday. And yes, of course, it's good to look forwards to this is where I want to be. But if we do it in a way that exaggerates the gap between where we are and where we want to be and makes us feel like we're less likely to achieve it and not good enough to achieve it anyway, then it's ridiculous and it doesn't work. The other way we go about this wrong is a big one. We use force, and think about all those words that I said and what they conjure up. They conjure up this idea of pushing through and aggressively pushing through and really constraining our mindset and focusing intensely on one thing. That's what we think of. But when you actually interview a CrossFit Games champion, as I've done, or if you interview someone who has been through hardship that you guys cannot imagine going through, what comes up is not this controlling, forceful mindset of I've got to do this, I've got to do this, got to do this. It's a sense of ease. And this is what I call free nature with the athletes that I work with. Free nature is when you're acting in a serving way and it's a relaxed sense of ease. Sure, you have to work hard. I'm not saying that's not part of it, but it doesn't come about as this forced thing. It's not like you decide like, okay, I've got to control my mind and kind of make myself do this thing. It's, this is the thing that I know I've got to do, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to do it. No questions asked. It's a much more relaxed affair than most athletes think, because we kind of force-fed this idea of like fire and brimstone and aggression. And yes, it's aggressive because we take dedicated action, but it's not reckless. Okay, it's not like you're throwing caution to the wind and running head first into this whatever, like into whatever challenges in front of you. It's relaxed aggression, which I know is a paradox, but that's what mental toughness is. It's pursuing something but not forcing something, because when we use force, it feels like tension. It feels like constraint. It feels like we're locking something in tight and crushing it. But what this does is it's A, very difficult to maintain, and B, it makes us very tense as an athlete, which means we can't move as well, which means we can't, even our diaphragm stops functioning so well there. So what we have to do is relax into it. And when we're in free nature, what happens, and this is a state of being that we all try to access, and as athletes we all hope to access, when we're in free nature, also, by the way, known as kind of a flow state, when we're in this state, everything is not easy, but it's simple. It's a kind of sense of fluidity, like, yeah, I've got this. There's no need to stress. I've got this. What we want is a much more relaxed way of looking at it. And when you relax into hardship, when you embrace hardship, that's when you progress. And yes, there's loads of tools to take you there, but first you have to understand the principle. We have to relax into hardship, and we can do this through awareness. Because when we become intensely aware of discomfort, instead of pushing it away, when we go towards it and think, okay, what does this feel like? What does this sound like? We build up a better picture of it. We realize it's far less scary than we originally realized. It's like one of those small dogs with the big dog's barks. Okay, it's like it's noise and it's loud and it's a bit scary, and we don't want to go there. But when you really look at it, it's nothing, because suffering is essentially both relative and subjective. So it's relative in as much as if you've suffered more hardship before, it doesn't seem quite as bad. Okay, so that's it. The other side of it is, if you know there's more hardship that someone else has been through, you can kind of relate it to that. Okay, so it's it's relative, and then the other thing is subjective. Your experience of hardship is entirely a conscious experience. It's in your consciousness, and you can remove that description of hardship. You can remove that attachment to hardship as bad. You can remove that, and you don't have to live by that, because when you do that, you're suddenly not bound by this, oh my god, this is the worst thing in the world, and you're free to explore it a bit more. And that's the key of realizing that hardship and your mental toughness is a subjective experience, and therefore it's almost entirely within your control. It's something that you can modulate as a human being. And because this is going out on a Friday, what I'm going to say is this: you've got the weekend to go out and forge some mental toughness, to practice it. So go out there, get after some competitions, and forge your own mental toughness. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a 5-star review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts, or just tell a friend. And if you do that, I'll be eternally grateful. Don't forget, you can join us in the Mindset for Functional Athletes Facebook group. It's a free support group, a community group for athletes kind of like you, and we'll hopefully see you in there. The way you can do that is by clicking the link in the show note descriptions, or you can get on Facebook and search for Mindset for Functional Athletes. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon.